Good morning. Welcome to Tip Off for today. Hope everyone's well. It's snowing again outside. Just totally ridiculous. 5 days in a row. And it's really snowing. This one's like really legitimate. Well, frankly, they all have been really legitimate snows. Hope you're well. We'll touch on a few things a little short today. I got to grab the kids, get some things done. To the guy who posted on yesterday's tip off about the fact that I was wearing a Sonic shirt and that bothered you. Today I thought I'd wear a Derek Rose shirt that they sent me, so that bother you. It's a flippin' T-shirt. And by the way, the guy who also added with quite intense venom that he never wants me to hear mention Seattle ever again. I lived there for 10 years of my life. It's very hard to not mention it. It's part of life experience. So anyway, and I lived here 3 times, so I think I like it here. I don't think that's an issue. So get away with the insecurity or something about it. I don't know. But since I know you like Seattle so much, I thought I'd show you this. I just found this. This is the inaugural day at Safeco Field for the first game ever played. Yes, yes, that's a YouTube version of Screw You. You're right. That is what that is. Got it. For those of you that are listening on the audio version, I hope you're chuckling. And if the person who I'm speaking to, whose name I don't actually know, but his comment on YouTube was there, is not laughing, lighten up, Francis. All right, let's touch on a bunch of things. Combine continues today. Uh, every word I'm hearing is that yesterday was a really good day for Jimmer. And every day in this process is going to be a good day for Jimmer because Jimmer's good. And Jimmer's solid. He's mature. He's not going to be too young. He's not going to make mistakes. Everything about this process works well for Jimmer. He's older than the other kids. He's probably a little stronger. He's mentally been through more by being a consensus National Player of the Year with the focus that's on him. Every part of this he'll interview well. The only little concern I would have on Jimmer is that because he is floating between maybe as high as 8 and as low as 20, he's going to have to work out in so many different cities and so many places. And I'm not sure there's any grind that's more brutal than popping from city to work out, and every day. And there is some point in that process where I think he could start to wear down, and then he shows some weakness, but that's just being tired. So I'm hoping that that's not going to be a problem, but I think that's a concern. The testing numbers for Jimmer that are coming out from Draft Express here are very important. There's two major two concerns on Jimmer, and there's then subplots to them. One of them is just his size in his body, and if he can really measure at 6'1", 6'2", and be big enough and strong enough, and suddenly people can really, I think, can view him as at least a combo third guard, maybe even a point guard starting in the NBA. The second one is just some of the athletic numbers. The big concern on him is he'll never be able to play because he can't defend anyone. And I think there's some legitimacy to that concern, and particularly because there's no tape anywhere of him playing defense. So Jimmer comes out and says to everyone, hey, I can play. And I think, defense is athletic skills and its size and then it's want to. And there's just no question that Jimmer has the toughness and the want to. And the size is going to be an issue on certain matchups. But again, that's something we can find out here testing. And then the athleticism and agility are some areas where those tests are going to be really important for him as well. So keep an eye on those numbers. I'll try to break down for you how they are and what they mean in that regard. But every day throughout here, I think is going to be Jimmer. And the other thing that's good for Jimmer, the other thing that's just very clear is that the other players have intense respect for him. And a lot of scouts and a lot of teams will do that. They'll sit down with players and ask them, hey, who's the toughest to go against who? And that means a lot in the minds of scouts. I think Jimmer's going to walk up this board a little bit. My only concern on draft day for him is if he becomes everybody's second choice. That they start to look at him and they say, my second, yeah, I'll take him. I love Jimmer, but I'm taking him. That's the only scenario I see he slides. And that scenario does exist. The other thing on the draft is Enes Kanter. Supposedly had a very good day yesterday. I watched some. He does move very well. And then I scouted over the last 3 days a 2008 game. So it's a long time ago. I'm very impressed. I think he's a 10 rebound a night guy. I don't think he's a Blake Griffin number one pick who becomes a 2010 guy. Though, if he gains some post moves, the comparison Chad Ford has used to Carlos Boozer is actually pretty good. He's very adept around the basket. He finishes quickly and well. His hands are awesome, and that's why I believe he will be a 10 rebound a game guy in the NBA if he gets the time. And he seems to move well enough to be able to uh, guard and move on the outside. That's a hard judgment from the film I was watching because I'm watching a grainy, crappy Turkey-Croatia game from 2008 and trying to figure out whether he moves well enough on a bunch of 18-year-old kids. So I could be off on that. He may be a little slower than I think, but I thought he looked like he moved pretty well. Again, you can hear there's some real questions and trepidation in my voice on that. He didn't show me great post moves. He's still got all sorts of things to work on, and as are the case with most draft prospects that aren't LeBron, Blake Griffin, or someone of that nature. And frankly, Blake had stuff. He doesn't explode like a Blake. He doesn't come off. He's not playing above the rim. He's a nice, solid player. I thought his best case scenario is probably Al Horford, who really is maybe more athletic. Al Horford's pretty fabulous. And maybe there is some close to Boozer. I thought more likely he's a smaller Marcin Gortat, maybe a smaller Marc Gasol. But again, that smaller gets concerning because that's 2 or 3 inches off where, maybe where he needs to be. His measurements again are another one. These measurements are really important that are taking place here. Final thing is I was supposed to be short here. Last night's game between Dallas and Oklahoma City. Scotty Brooks putting Russell Westbrook on the bench for the entire fourth quarter was just huge. And that's just guts, man. Scotty Brooks has guts. And it worked, and Maynard played really, really well. And congratulations to Eric for that. And truly, the difference in this game was that James Harden hit a bunch of shots that Jason Kidd missed, and the comparable players, Sean Marion missed. Though Sean Marion played very well again. Boy, he makes mistakes, and you think he's having an off night, and then he puts it together. Those shots that went down by James Harden just simply didn't go down the other way. I know that's the essence of the game, but just a comparable player didn't get that. If Oklahoma City gets stuff from Harden, they're pretty remarkable, and that's one of the angles on when you look at being a GM. The Jeff Green for Kendrick Perkins trade was as much a terrific trade by Oklahoma City because it allows Jeff Harden to play. And as long as Harden, Jeff Green was taking Harden's moments, taking Harden's, not directly. I mean, one played a different position, but he was taking his possessions and using his possessions. And, you get 90 of them a night, and you got to, as a GM, and you got to allocate them across the board and figure out who's using them and how they're using them. And that's really what Sam Presti has done beautifully well. With that roster, and by moving Jeff Green and clearing those possessions, it allowed James Harden to use them, and he's used them well. And when he uses them well, they're really quite deadly. He was the 3rd pick of a draft. He's a heck of a player. So that's a quick take on things. There's a lot of other stuff to talk about today, but I don't have a lot of time. Go watch the Kanter video. Give me some thoughts on it. All the videos are out there. The Vesely, Monojunas, Valanciunas. I don't think I pronounced both those guys right. And then as well as the video I just did from Kanter. If you have not seen, by the way, Torrey Hunter dropping the fly ball last night to give the win to the Seattle Mariners, because I just thought I'd close with Seattle stuff, but it has actually nothing to do with that. I'm not a Mariner guy at all. I think they're actually maybe the worst run organization in professional sports at times. It's worth seeing. It's just unbelievable that one of the great outfielders in the history of the game dropped that ball, but you get why. And then how about the Giants beating the Dodgers? I'll take every day the Giants beat the Dodgers, even if it is a snowy day. Have a good one, guys. I'll be live with Scotty G today from 3 to 6. We're up in Ogden, so if you're up that area, I'd love to have you stop by and say hi. And remember to like us on Facebook. We're about to cross 3,000. Appreciate that very much.